Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of the Over It podcast. I'm your co-host, Suzanne Kohlberg, graciously joined today by Christine Kershaw. And what we're having a quick chat about today is the upcoming Building Boundaries Masterclass. So people rarely find the motivation for lasting change while they're feeling isolated or judged by all. And when it comes to setting boundaries, we can have a lot of harsh judgment from others, but also inner criticism. And so what I want to start with is I literally polled my people. So some of you listening, you may hear literally you in some of these sentences. And I said, what comes up for you when you think about setting boundaries? And here they are. Boundaries are very scary, setting them and enforcing them. I fear disappointing people. I'm worried that by setting a boundary, I'm being rude. I don't want to cause any drama. That one really, like, for me, I felt that in my soul. But also, I just want to point out that when we don't want to cause any external drama, what kind of drama are we causing inside our own bodies by being the yes person? If I set a boundary, there will be conflict, and I avoid conflict at all costs. Boundaries are selfish. I loved that one. I can't wait to dive into that. I feel very uncomfortable when I need to set a boundary. Yes. Setting a boundary feels like I'm about to upset somebody, rock the boat, or stir up trouble. If I set a boundary, it could upset someone and mean their opinion of me might change and they won't like me anymore, or it might change the relationship in some way. And I loved this one. Boundaries as a word sounds restrictive. You guys, well, many of you know, this might be the first time you've heard me speak, but as a reformed dieter, anything that feels restrictive for me is immediately out. So the Building Boundaries Masterclass is for you if any of those resonated for you, because I'm not about deprivation, restriction, or anything that feels shit. In these 3 days together, we'll cover what a boundary actually is. Because I think so often the hardest thing is we all have a very different definition of what we're actually even talking about. So let's all get on the same page. Common boundary myths, because a lot of those things that I just covered are myths, and I will tell you why. How to set a boundary and mean it rather than hesitate, say, yeah, let me think about it, blah, 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 knowing full well that you don't want to do it. How to enforce it. I don't actually like that term. Enforcer gives me bouncer vibes. So uphold. If you're watching the video, Christine does the perfect enforcer just there. What to do when you feel your boundaries not being respected. And that could also be by yourself, because we can't expect others to uphold our boundaries if we don't uphold and respect them ourselves. So a lot of the work starts with us. How to become more comfortable putting yourself first and overcome those fears of hurting others. We may have had painful memories and moments in the past when our boundaries were not respected that prevent us from going forward. But really, setting a boundary is an effort to show that you want this relationship. Because if you weren't putting a boundary in place, if you were just like, I'm out, I think that's a lot of where ghosting comes from. And that might be something we end up in. So if this is sounding interesting to you, let's spend 3 days together to go from overthinking and the dramatic inner dialogues that we have about why we can't set boundaries to making, setting, and upholding our boundaries simple, doable, and normal, because we should be saying no more often. So it's a free 3. That's very hard words to say together. Try to say that 3 times fast. Free 3. Free 3-day masterclass. It's going to be run in a closed Facebook group starting on Tuesday, the 17th of January at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So basically, if you sign up, you'll get sent the link to join the Facebook group. If you can come live, wonderful. If you can't, the replays are available. The next call is Wednesday, the 18th of January at 8 p.m. And then the third call is Thursday, 19th of January at 10 a.m. You might be like, why on earth do you have them at all sorts of times, Suzanne? Because I have a global audience. So hopefully in there somewhere, you can attend at least one of those live. And if not, there is always the replay. Replays are available until Sunday, 22nd of January, when that group will be closed. So this is a free masterclass. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, free 3. So I was getting stuck before. It's free to attend live. Afterward, it will be taken down and repurposed as bonus content in my Way Wait program. So if you would like to join, the link will be in the show notes. Do you have anything to add, Kristan, my amazing sidekick person?
The one who does the silent
interpretive dance.
Yeah, for those who are watching the video version. No, I'm just excited for this because I think sometimes we can, well, I know for myself, we can create the biggest barriers in our brain as to why we can't have a boundary, and yet you find a way past that, as in, I want to block some situation out of my world because it's not in alignment. And we ruminate on it and we can make ourselves physically sick. Like, so much of what you've just been talking about literally leads to physiological changes. So from my work point of view, the more that we can get boundaries and understand the benefit of them, of going, this is not okay, then our body will be better for it. And it can seem really scary. And yet we go and put the boundary in place and people are like, oh, okay, I won't join you on that or whatever. And we build it up so much. And I'm not, what do you call it, absolving myself from this. I've been here and done that too. Like you and I both. Boundaries, we teach equivalence in our different work because we teach
what we most need to know. And what I'm so excited about in this masterclass is for those who feel called, there's never any pressure. But if there's a boundary that comes up that you want to set, going and setting it and coming back and sharing with the group. Like beforehand, I thought this, and then I worked myself up, and then I said, hey, and they're like, yeah, sure. Because the thing is, what I really want to encourage people is 90% of the time, it isn't a big deal. And we let the 10% of the time that it is a big deal overshadow everything. And then if it is a big deal, then this is where, the communication, and this is the advantage of having it in community, like of saying, hey, this is what I thought would happen. And they were like, yeah, sure. And so I'm super excited. This, if you happen to come across this podcast after the dates when it's no longer available, I will run other masterclasses of similar nature. So make sure you jump onto my email list, suzannekohlberg.com/newsletter, and you'll be first to know of the free trainings that I run. I tend to run them once a quarter. They tend to be over a couple of days. Some people do ask, why do I do 3 to 5 day things instead of a once off? The experience of listening to it, and then home play, because people get triggered by homework. Going, and trying it out and then reporting back in the community, the celebration, the inspiration that you are for others by simply being you is so empowering. So if you're listening to this later and you've missed the boat on this one, there will be others. Jump on my newsletter list and we hope to see you there.
Too easy. See ya.
Bye.